This is the Overdue Homework Podcast.
Welcome to the show. That's Trav. I'm Drew.
And I'm Trav.
And this is the Overdue Homework Podcast. And of course, we are here to give you our opinions on 80s and 90s media. Do not forget to email us at podcast@overduehomework.com. Trav, how you doing?
Really good, Drew.
Great.
I made my nerd room nerdier.
Nice.
Got all my shelves up for all my Funkos. Got more board games in.
Nice.
So, good times.
Absolutely,
Good times.
man. Absolutely.
How about yourself?
Pretty good. I think I'm officially out of the buying retro video game business.
All right.
I think I'm out of it.
You're done.
It's too expensive.
That it is.
It's just too expensive.
cold turkey.
Cold turkey. I haven't bought a retro game in months now. Months.
Okay.
And I think I'm just going to get a bunch of EverDrives. And then I'm just going to have all the games. I'll have 5 EverDrive cartridges for the multiple systems. And then just be done with it. You know, maybe the prices will come down again someday. But it's just too expensive. I am not going to pay $75 for some run-of-the-mill NES game.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
It's not going to happen.
2 questions.
Not gonna
Are
happen.
these things like emulators then?
So
what?
they're cartridges that have basically shit, what are they called?
Every game imaginable?
So the thing is, a dude makes these EverDrives, and he makes them for. There's a couple of versions for each system, depending on like what you want to do with these games. Like the Super Nintendo one, you have to buy one version for Super Nintendo games that have the FX chip, the FX chip, and Super Nintendo games that don't have. So it's different software inside them.
Sure.
But they have not flash drives. Flash drives is not the word I'm looking for. Little tiny discs for storage. You used to put them in your camera in the early 2000s. SD cards.
SD cards.
So they just have little SD cards in there, and like the actual cartridge is basically running an emulator, and then
Okay.
from his website you can download the whole catalog of games, put that onto your SD card, and then you can play these games on your actual Super Nintendo, whatever. They run around $150 to $200 a piece.
Sure.
So I'm just going to do that instead. Then I'll have the games to play. I'll be able to play whatever I want and not have to worry about like, hey, I want to get that game. No, I don't want to get that game because it's $300, so it's not going to happen.
Question number 2,
Uh-huh.
was there a certain search that put you over the edge? Like you haven't bought one in a while, but were
Right.
you just checking one out? You're like, fuck this.
So months ago, I was just on eBay. I'm like, it's been a while since I've bought any games. I'm going to try to get some NES games because usually they end up being the cheapest of NES games. Genesis games are usually the cheapest of all of them compared to 64 and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And the NES games that I was looking at were like $75, $50, $25. And I'm like, man, like 5-6 years ago, these would have been like $3.99.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I can't do it, Trav.
For me, it's not being able to be good at telling the non-real cartridges.
See, that's also that's a big problem. Is you think you're gonna buy something and it's gonna be legit, and then it's just a clone of a game, you
Yeah.
know, and you paid out the ass for it.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of plastic.
And I
you
would
know?
unknowingly just have it, and then 10 years later be like, hey, check out this retro event. And they're like, that's a fake.
That's a fake.
That's
a fake.
Yikes.
I sent you a link a little while ago that allowed to a piece of equipment. I don't remember the name of it right now. That allows you to play and store and check your Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to get. It's only $50. It
Yeah.
seems like a no-brainer, dude.
Worth
And
it.
You can play it on your PC. That'd be great. I think I'm going to do that for sure. Because I still want to play these retro games, but
Obviously.
the price point for these things is just too insane
just
for me
crazy.
nowadays. I
We
can't-
should have kept
can't do
every
it.
game we had when we
Oh
were
my
kids.
god, dude! Oh my god!
Damn
dude.
it, Drew.
I regret. Oh my god! David, I don't know if I've mentioned it on this podcast, but did I ever tell you the time I sold my Nintendo Wii?
No.
Okay, so a friend of my wife's, his kids were getting made fun of because they didn't know how to play video games.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I got this Wii at home that's just collecting dust. It's got a bunch of the peripheral stuff for it and a whole bunch of games and shit. And I was like, he can have it all for $200.
Bad idea.
Bad idea, man.
Dude, really bad
Bad
idea.
idea. And it had the SD card in it after I had purchased all the games, off the Wii Shop Network, too.
Yeah.
Got all that stuff.
Yep.
And I see this guy still. He got a divorce from his wife, and I don't know who has the kids. I see this guy. He's a manager at Cub Foods here in town. And I see him occasionally, and I'm going to be like, hey, Matt, do you still got that wheat? 'Cause I'll buy it all back from you.
I'll give you $200.
I'll give you $200 for it. No, $300. I never get the guts to say, and I say hi to him every time I see him at Cub Foods too. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Matt, how's it going? I'm always like, ask him about the wheat. Ask him about the wheat. I never do.
No.
Odds are he sold it. If I were him, I would have sold it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably.
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Maybe I'll get the guts to do it someday. Global guts to do it someday.
Do it.
Maybe. Well, Trav, with that out of the way, should we get over to the homework review?
Let's do it.
All right, we can do that. There were no articles for this episode, just to mention that. So if you want to find out some more interesting information about Dragon Ball Z, go way back to 2022 and find those DBZ episodes. Maybe I'll link them in the show notes. Kind of doubt it, but maybe I'll link them in the show notes, and then you guys can go listen to that stuff. I mean, that just brings up another point. Go back. If you're just finding our podcast now, go back and listen to some of those really shitty episodes from the first 10 that we did.
Do it.
Do it. I dare you.
I dare you.
I dare you.
And then email us about it. I dare you.
I dare you.
And don't listen to the email in that episode, but instead, podcast at overduehomework.com.
That's right. All right, so of course we are doing DBZ movie The World's Strongest, and this originally aired between Season 1 and Season 2 in 1990. And it's a little bit of foreshadowing because this does kick off the Summer of DBZ for us, because you better believe the second season of DBZ is heading your way. Heading your way. It was directed by Daisuke Nisho, screenplay by Tako Koyama, based on Dragon Ball by Akira Toriyama. It is starring Sean Schemmel as Goku, Stephanie Nadloy as Gohan, Christopher Sabat as Piccolo, Tiffany Vollmer as Bulma, Sonny Strait as Krillin, Brad Jackson as Oolong, Cynthia Kranz as Chi-Chi, Mike McFarland as Master Roshi, Christopher Sabat as the Turtle, Christopher Sabat as Shenron. I always want to call him Shenlong because I see Shenlong because that's the Japanese, the Shenron.
Yeah.
Toby Baker as Dr. Cochin. Chris Kaysen and John Bergermeyer as the Biomen. The Biomen. Matthew Tompkins as that guy. I don't even know who these are the villains that get barely mentioned in the movie at all. They
just
mention their
one time
one
when
time.
they get introduced.
One time, that's it. Chris Rager and Robert McCollum also voiced the other two. Our Bruce Elliott as Dr. Wheelo. And, of course, our narrator is Kyle Hebert. That's just the name. It was produced by Toei Animation, distributed by Toei Animation, released March 10th, 1990 in Japan. It had a box office of 1.7 billion yen. That's 2.1 billion yen in 2025, or $14 million in 2025. Trav, are you ready to break it down?
Let's break it down.
Okay, we can do that. All right, we open up with Piccolo blowing shit up because he's training.
What else would he be doing?
What else would he be? Oolong and Gohan, they have the Dragon Radar. They stole it from Bulma while she was suntanning with Roshi. Someone has 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls already.
Yeah.
They're in the Frigid Mountains, and Gohan is in his robe and a cloak, and he's talking about how he's really, really cold. Like, maybe wear a little bit more than just a simple little cloak.
Probably.
Maybe. So what is Oolong going to wish for when he has the Dragon Balls? It's panties.
It's panties.
It's panties.
Too late. Dr. Cochin has all 7, and he's making a wish. So what's he going to wish for?
Well, he wants Shenron to melt the ice trapping Dr. Wheelo. I love how he goes, the mountains of ice. And bam, it's done. Shenron, he never disappoints.
No.
Shenron's duty is now complete. My duty is now complete. And he goes back into the Dragon Balls. We don't get to see the Dragon Balls blast off into space like we always do. Why not?
I don't know.
They always do that.
That is weird.
They don't blast off.
They don't blast
They
off.
should blast off. Finally, Dr. Wheelo is free after 50 years.
All will bow before them.
That's what he hopes, at least. Cue the world's strongest title card. It's pretty damn sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
It gave me a seizure. That's a lot of flashing.
It is.
I was sitting in a dark room, completely dark room, watching it at like 11:30 at night at the first time, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Shenron, please, for my next wish, stop the seizures.
Stop the seizures, please. Gohan and Oolong, they go to the building that just came out of the ice, but watch out, Biomen. There's Biomen.
Yeah, looking a little like Cybermen.
A lot like Cybermen.
A lot like Cybermen.
A lot like Cybermen.
But they're Biomen.
They are Biomen, and we don't see Cell until season 3.
Season 5.
Season 5?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Cybermen were already in it in season 1. That's what Nappa
Oh, yes.
You're
yes.
thinking of the Cell Junior.
The Cell Juniors. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of.
These are Biomen.
Biomen.
Back to the Biomen.
A lot of the animation in this film makes me think of where it's going with Cell. Does it? Does it not?
Definitely.
It's like it's kind of setting
There's
the
like
groundwork.
a lot of foreshadowing in
Yes.
this ultimately.
Yes, really, there really is.
Like it's not meant to, I don't think, because
No.
it's so far before we get to what you're talking
right.
about. But
well,
yeah, there
and
is.
Cell deals with the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah.
Not these guys.
Right.
They don't have any affiliation to the Red Ribbon Army.
No.
How do they not?
I don't know.
It seems like they're kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Creating, not really androids, I guess. They're creating more like cyborgs.
Cyborgs. They're Biomen.
They're Biomen. They're Biomen.
They're way different, dude. These are Biomen.
Well, thankfully, Piccolo is there to lend a hand, and he scream explodes one of those Biomen, which I've really enjoyed. Rah!
They were no match for him.
No match. But Piccolo ends up being captured by some mysterious bad guys. Oolong and Gohan, they leave to go home because there's nothing they can do. So we'll just go home, I guess. So now we're at home with Chi-Chi, Goku, and Gohan. Chi-Chi's pretty pissed because Gohan was gone for 3 days and he won't tell her where he was.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. He's like 8. Disappeared for 3 days. Where were you? I'm not going to tell you, bitch.
Not telling you, bitch.
Goku doesn't seem to care because, I mean, he was a pretty fancy-free little kid growing up.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He'll be all right.
He's like, 3 days is nothing.
Nothing. I lived on my own in the woods for most of my life. Come on. Then Gohan is getting an education montage.
Gotta have one of those.
He's going to be a scholar.
Yep, definitely.
I do have to say, for how kind of weird in the story that this is, I did enjoy it.
Oh, it's funny.
It is funny. It's fun to see the playful animation. It reminded me a lot of the end credits from the series, not the end credits of this movie particularly.
The song.
Yeah. No time for dreaming. It's time to eat. Gohan, he slept at his desk. So, and Chi-Chi's kind of like, oh, he's going to turn into a delinquent. He was working so hard on his homework that he fell asleep at his desk.
Yeah.
He's going to turn into a delinquent.
Right.
Okay, Chi-Chi.
Sure.
I guess that's a bad thing. Okay, over to the Kame house, and Oolong is cooking dinner.
And he's a shitty cook.
And that's the truth. And Bulma lets him know it. Is there anything you are good for, Oolong? Not really. Not really. Oolong's kind of a putz.
Kind of just there.
So Bulma has no other choice. She has to order takeout.
Yeah.
To an island.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Ding dong. Turtle, will you get that?
Let's have the slowest guy going into the door, please.
It's the Bioman, and
It's the Bioman.
They want Roshi. They want Roshi because they think he's the world's strongest fighter.
Right.
Yep, they do. They do. Roshi isn't going to go without a fight because this is an anime where they fight all the time.
Obviously.
He handles them pretty easily. Dr. Kochan happens to be there too. I don't know how nobody saw him, but he's just standing there. He holds Bulma hostage, so Roshi will go with him. And Dr. Wheelo, he's going to be so happy that he captured the world's strongest fighter.
Ooh.
Oolong the next night informs Goku of what's going on.
While he's in a barrel of boiling water.
It makes sense that he's in there, but it's also funny. I mean, it's played for levity. It's hilarious that he's in there, sitting on an industrial barrel full of water with a fire directly underneath it.
Yeah.
He's just fine with it. He's like, this is all part of my training, guys.
Yep.
Goku is going to go find Roshi, Bulma, and Piccolo. Gohan wants to go, but Chi-Chi isn't having it.
No.
So over to Dr. Wheelo. Roshi wants to know what they want. Like, what do you guys want?
What
Like,
do you want?
What do you want? You can at least let Bulma go. After all, she's just Bulma.
She's just Bulma.
I'm just Bulma after all. There really is very little reason for her to be trapped at all.
No, it's just so she can be in the movie.
So she can be in the movie.
Obviously.
Well, first, a test for Roshi. He has to fight Wheelo's biotechnical warriors. I have a hard time with that phrase, biotechnical warriors.
Yeah.
I don't why not biomechanical warriors? Biotechnical warriors. It just seems weird to me that he would choose.
More technical than your average biomech, Drew. This is biotechnical.
More technical than mechanical.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
And they are itching to show off what they have learned. So it's showtime. Roshi, he does really well.
Yes, he does.
Impressive. He's holding his own. It is a good fight. I love anytime you never get to see Roshi do any fighting besides in these movies.
Yeah.
But I guess you see him in Dragon Ball Super doing fighting. But up until Super, he's never fighting. And no, unless you watch Dragon Ball, then he's doing a bunch of fighting in Dragon Ball as well. But
if you're watching Dragon Ball Z,
no fighting from
there's
Roshi.
No fighting unless it's a side movie.
It's a side movie.
But it's always badass.
It is.
And it's part of the montage from Toonami. Like, we would see this all the time.
Yes, that's where. That's why
There's
it was
like 4 parts of this movie that were all in that montage.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, holy shit, they pulled a lot from the world's
They really
strongest.
did. They really did. And this, we didn't even mention this. This was basically homework for me. I don't know if I've ever seen this movie in completion.
Okay. Nice.
Like, I feel like I've seen parts of it.
Yeah.
But that's probably why.
It's from Toonami.
That's
Because
probably
that
why.
part is in the Toonami. When Goku does the Kaioken, it's in Toonami.
Yeah.
And there's another part in it, too.
Man, that's why I probably thought that I had seen parts of this, because
Yeah.
I had seen parts of it on Toonami.
Yeah.
Eventually, Roshi is defeated. Even the Kamehameha does not work.
Nope.
Bulma ends up spilling the beans. Roshi isn't the strongest fighter in the world. Maybe Roshi was 50 years ago. Come on, you idiots. It's Goku now. Why would she just be like, it's Goku. He's the strongest fighter, even though you're searching for the strongest fighter in the world to be evil. Like,
Right.
it's like, it's Goku. Of course, you idiots.
You idiots. I love when she says that, and they're just baffled. This is Dr. Wheelo. Turns out Bulma knows who Wheelo and Cochin are.
That's convenient.
They were renegade scientists at the turn of the millennium 50 years ago.
Uh-huh.
How can they be alive? And the giant brain that is Dr. Wheelo is revealed.
Bulma no likey.
Bulma no likey.
Bulma no likey.
Is there someone else here? Wheelo wants Goku bad. Like, bring him. He wants Goku's body, big brain, and a strong body. You know what that means.
Yeah.
It will be the dawn of a new era.
I know what that means.
And Wheelo will get his revenge. In fact, it has already begun. The destroyed Cell City already.
That wasn't even that is a big news event. A whole city was wiped off the map due to a mysterious fire thing. That was worth mentioning at the beginning of the movie. Don't you think?
I would think so.
Like, maybe even just having it on TV.
At the TV at the comic house.
Yes, that South City's been destroyed.
That's normally what's happening.
Yeah.
If it's not watched through the crystal ball,
Right.
it's on the TV.
Yeah,
No, let's just slip it in now.
Just slip it in there.
Let's just slip it in. Another little foreshadowing here is trying to get Goku's body.
Yeah.
Does that happen again? Maybe a certain Ginyu member might try that with you.
Yes, Trav, that does happen again.
But Wheelo senses a powerful life source approaching. I wonder who it could be. It's Goku. Duh. And he will be Wheelo's perfect host.
They keep harping on that point.
Yeah.
Like, they want his body. I want his body.
I need his body.
Oh, my goodness.
And Gohan ditched Chi-Chi and is headed to the fight.
Yep.
Back with Goku, and he's talking to Cochin. Where is everyone? They're inside. Come and see if you can find them.
Release the Bio Warriors. Search and destroy.
That is amazing. Let the fight begin. Goku handles Tubby for now. And the spike balls.
Yep. Just
Spike
some
balls.
spike balls.
Spike balls.
Okay.
They're really fast.
Yep.
And one false move and he's dead.
Yep.
But he's Goku.
He's
He's fine. But Tubby is back and Goku goes, Kaioken.
Because of course he does.
Why wouldn't he? And he punches a hole right through him, and it's badass.
It is very badass.
Super
It is
badass.
very badass.
Looks like I let the air out of that guy.
Oh, Goku, you're so funny.
Next is the red and the green guy.
Whatever their names are, I miss them.
Yeah, they were weird. So it's 2-on-1. That's not fair, but it's not slowing Goku down.
No.
He's doing quite well, actually. And that is until he gets zapped and frozen.
What a combination of powers, electrical and ice. What a
Electrical
combination.
and ice. There will be no escaping now. Finish him. Gohan to the rescue. Krillin too, kind of. Like that matters. He's probably just gonna die. Green dude gets his zapper arms going and gives them all a thrashing.
The way those things come out of his arms is disturbing to
Yeah,
me.
very
They're like
disturbing.
Weird little like electrical worm things. It was very disturbing to me. I was
Very
like, that's
disturbing.
gross, dude.
So what happens? Krillin and Gohan get frozen as well. The old double whammy. And so Goku has no choice but to go Kaioken again and bust out of this icy prison.
Yep.
That's what I was saying is in the Toonami
Yep.
thing. So you've seen that like 1,000 times,
Definitely.
even if you haven't seen this movie.
Definitely.
And his power deflects further icy blasts naturally. Plus, he's just way too fast for the electrical guy.
Way too fast.
Way too fast. Wheelo is sure Goku is the one.
He's the one.
I'm wondering at this point if they're interested in Goku.
I have no idea.
Do they need his body for something? Wheelo's dream is finally coming to a reality. Goku, Krillin, and Gohan head to find Bulma and Roshi. It seems as though they're headed into a trap.
Yep.
They head up and find Bulma on a pedestal surrounded by a force field. Ouch. And it was a trap. Roshi is being transformed into a bio-warrior. The crew spots the brain on the wall. Is that a human brain? It's Dr. Wheelo. It's back to story time. Wheelo's body is dead. So now he's a brain in a fishbowl. They want to do the same thing to all of humanity for reasons.
We never really get that reason.
We don't get that reason.
He just wants complete domination and turn everybody into biotechnical warriors.
Biotechnical warriors. Wheelo wants Goku's body. If you haven't
If you
got
haven't
that
figured
right
that
now,
out yet.
Coachin assures Goku the procedure is painless. I doubt that.
I doubt that.
I doubt that. Goku doesn't give a rip. He's here to save his friends, but Dr. Wheelo thinks not. You belong to me. Creepy.
Very creepy. You belong to me. So it's the red beam of torture for Goku.
Daddy!
You're hurting him.
Duh, that's the idea. Goku busts out of that torture beam and time for a Piccolo fight. But it's not the Piccolo we know and love.
Dun, dun, dun. Gohan knew that he would come. I knew you'd come and help. Oh my gosh. I'm such a wiener. And he stays a wiener his whole character arc. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Gohan is really badass and he's super strong, but he's such a wiener.
He's such a wiener. Until he's Teen Gohan, he's a wiener.
Yep, it's very true. Piccolo's been biotechnicalized.
Yep. It's a Goku versus Piccolo fight. It's always a fan favorite.
It's a personal favorite of mine. Anytime they face off, it's always great. Piccolo, stop this! He does not stop.
He doesn't.
Krillin is trying to free Bulma.
Cut the power, you nitwit!
The Goku versus Piccolo battle continues. Piccolo turns his attention to Gohan and moves in for the kill. How could he do that? He trained Gohan from a child.
Who's a better dad than Goku?
Goku deflects the blast, which is a really cool move. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was super cool. He kind of came flipping out of the sky like Raiden does in Mortal Kombat
Yeah, he did.
Annihilation.
Yeah, he
but
did.
it was really cool how he just did that blast and just deflected it right, like basically right in Gohan's face. Just deflected it right away. I thought that was pretty neat. Goku pays for that blast by taking a disastrous punch to the face. Piccolo really does unleash quite the right hook right on Goku's face.
Yeah, he does.
Goku and Piccolo, they continue to fight, and that pisses Gohan off.
So you know what that means.
Gohan's power is skyrocketing.
Oh my god, it's over 9,000.
Dr. Wheelo realizes it's due to Gohan's anger level is why his power is going through the roof, and Cochin is just throwing insults at Gohan.
Yep. Probably not the best idea.
No, even Wheelo's like, stop it. What are you doing, you idiot?
Yeah.
Stop it. And then he gives that blast from his cane cannon, whatever that thing is.
Sure.
Great, just pop that lid up. Pew, 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 pew. This pushes Gohan to the breaking point, and he unleashes a massive wave of energy, pressing against the walls of the laboratory, fighting ring, cave thing, whatever it is, until Wheelo puts an end to it. Which he just like cracks the floor underneath him, and then Gohan's like, oops, I guess I'm done.
Yep.
That's it. I'm not angry anymore. That was weird. Krillin steps in to confront Kochin. Turns out Kochin has a machine gun arm. How convenient.
Nice.
I do like it, though. It's pretty sweet.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet, but all of a sudden he's like, machine gun arm.
Machine gun arm.
It is a little funny. I laughed at it, but it was still really cool. And Kochin has disabled the power after blasting the power source and lets Bulma out of her force field prison. So I guess that played right into our plans, as our heroes' plans at least.
Yep.
This also results in freeing Piccolo. It was that easy.
Yeah.
That's it. It's over with. He's back to being a normal guy.
That's it.
Great news for our heroes.
Piccolo is back, bitches.
But look out. That brain in the wall is more than just a brain in the wall. It's also a biotechnical monstrosity.
Yeah.
It looks like something straight out of the movie Alien.
Yeah.
It really does. I'm sure that was a very intentional thing for the character design. Wheelo bursts out of that wall, and that's the end of Kochin. He's going to be falling to his death now.
Yeah. Plus, it turns out he was a full robot.
Which was an interesting reveal when he gets his skin and everything burned off of him. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's a full-on robot, a biotechnical warrior.
Biotechnical warrior.
If you will.
If you will, for the late person.
Let the Wheelo showdown begin. Our heroes stand at the ready, which is a really cool shot. All you see Gohan, you see Goku, Krillin, Piccolo, Roshi, and then Gohan's in the front. Not really kind of, but it's really a cool freeze frame shot of those like. Those are like the four main people that came out of the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a reuniting of those four people towards a common goal. So it's a cool shot. I liked it a lot.
The Fellowship, the original.
Yeah, absolutely.
Piccolo attack that does nothing.
Nothing. Then the triple Kamehameha.
It didn't work.
Nope, it didn't. And then Krillin gets blasted and is dead.
Probably.
Goku is going full Kaioken at this point. But first, here comes Gohan. And he gets taken out.
Yeah.
And Goku gets the power pole. So it's also another throwback to Dragon Ball at this point, because that's what he had the whole time in the whole series. Using that to knock down Wheelo while Piccolo blasts that bitch. It was useless, but he did blast that bitch.
Yeah.
Goku is unfazed.
You're going down no matter how long it takes.
And he means it. I mean, he will fight until he dies, basically. Kaioken times 3! He ain't fooling around.
No.
He's going all the way to Maximum Kaioken, although he does Kaioken times 10 later on in the series, correct?
Yes, he does.
He does, but that's okay. He's going full Kaioken. He is not fooling around. Goku is not fooling around. This turns the tide of the fight. It really does. Goku is finally doing some damage. He knocks off Dr. Wheelo's arm pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
And then a classic blast battle. I love that when the two blasts come together and it's just that classic Dragon Ball Z.
He's getting sucked up by the enemy one. And you can't win.
Goku literally blows the roof off that mother, sending Wheelo into space.
Wheelo ain't dead yet.
No, he's just chilling in space. I'm just chilling in space. And he's going to destroy the whole Earth since he can't beat Goku.
What a bitch.
What a bitch.
Seriously, what a bitch. And you got the classic, all the friends think he's dead.
Yep.
The first time, like, okay, Goku blasts him, and Krillin's like, you did it. Like, no, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
How could he be alive after that blast? Because he always is.
Always is.
It's never going to be the first blast.
And it's almost like Krillin and crew always forget that they can sense other beings' powers.
Exactly.
I mean, if Gohan can sense that Wheelo is still alive, so can Krillin.
So can Krillin.
So can Roshi.
Like,
so can Piccolo. So can Gohan. I mean, Bulma probably could.
Wake up, guys.
Wake up. So you know what that means? It's Spirit Bomb time.
Yeah.
Gather that energy, Goku. He can't do this alone. He calls on all the inhabitants of Earth. So he's telepathically communicating with everyone on Earth, right?
Yes.
This is like the second or third time he's done this, correct?
Yes.
Do you think there's anyone on Earth that's like, this guy again?
Come on, dude. I put my arms up the last time.
Anyways, Goku gathers all the energy from every living organism on Earth, And I have my second seizure of the movie. Another just a flashing yellow light in my face at midnight now because I've been watching for half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Willow sees what's happening and he can't believe it.
The whole planet? What the hell is he trying to do?
He's trying to kill you. So Willow gives him a preemptive strike and Goku gets blasted.
Yikes.
I liked the style of that strike.
Yeah.
Where it was like the single beams coming down leading up to where Goku was. I thought that was really cool.
Pretty badass.
I liked it a lot. And Goku gets blasted. He's down and out for now. Enraged Gohan heads to space to stop Willow. Can they just head to space?
I guess.
I don't remember ever seeing that in the series of them just going to space. They just went to space.
Like, I feel like sometimes they're up pretty high in the atmosphere, but definitely not just going to space.
Going to space.
When they're in Super and they're in space, Whis has to save them, basically, with like an air bubble, because they would die
That's
otherwise.
correct.
But seemingly they can hold their breath a really long time.
Yeah.
in
I mean,
space,
that's how
and-
Superman flies in space. He's holding his breath.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
it happens.
I don't know. Sure. Piccolo joins Gohan, though.
Thought you could use some help, kid.
And he could use some help. And a wham bam, it's a head slam and a face blast. Oh, and here comes Krillin. And he just gets bitch slapped.
Can I just land one good punch?
No, you can't. You're lucky you're not dead.
Yeah, seriously.
You're lucky you're alive, Krillin, because any of those blasts from earlier probably should have killed you. But Goku, he regains his footing, and it's time to finish this. The Earth is depending on me. The Earth is always depending on you, Goku.
Yeah.
Always depending
Always.
on you. And it's Spirit Bomb versus a Willow Blast. And it punches right through that. It's really cool. That giant red beam coming down from Willow. That Spirit Bomb just initially just kind of starts bending it and pushing it, and then it just blasts right through it. With the force of 7 billion human souls. I guess I gotta assume that's how many people are on Goku's Earth. I mean,
I'm
there's
guessing.
there's like 8 billion on our Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know. 7 billion human souls. And that's the end of Willow.
Damn you, Goku!
Our heroes regroup on a snowy mountaintop. They all survived, and Goku thanks Piccolo.
You should be thinking Gohan.
Yeah, you should be thinking Gohan. And the movie ends with Bulma calling Roshi a dirty old man. Roll credits.
Roll credits.
Oh, man. Trav, what did you think?
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It's lower in the echelon of side movies for DBZ.
Yeah, I'd say
Dead
so.
Zone is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The first one that we did. But just for the pure like Toonami nostalgia, I like this movie.
Nice.
To see the moments that we saw 1,000 times and where it came from.
Yeah,
was from this
absolutely.
movie.
That's really cool. I definitely liked it as well. It's cool to like the thing I like most about these movies is you get to see the characters in different situations that you see than what you see in DBZ.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. I mean, some people call it fan service or whatever, but I love seeing the characters in different costumes, doing different things, I just love that about these movies. And you, like we had talked about how you see Roshi actually fighting in this, and you don't see that through all of DBZ, basically. I just like those things about these movies, and these movies for Dragon Ball Z are kind of a blind spot for me. Some I've seen, some I haven't seen. I mean, I've never really sought them out to watch them. I just always concentrated on the series. So it's a fun experience for me, somebody that is a big Dragon Ball Z fan, to watch these things with eyes that hadn't seen them before for the most part.
Yeah, it'll be fun to put these in like where they're supposedly in the timeline and you haven't seen them. And sometimes it's nice to have an arc that's over in an hour.
Yes.
You know, instead of a season, 39 episodes to get to the end of something.
I literally thought like every season of Dragon Ball Z could be like an hour movie.
Yeah, it
Because
could be.
there's so much filler that isn't in these movies.
Yeah.
That it just makes the storytelling so much snappier and more coherent, and you don't have to be like, what the hell happened 40 episodes ago? Like what was going on? Was that season or this season?
Right.
I do appreciate that about these movies, that's for sure. I really, really do. So, Trav, with that out of the way, should we get over to that homework assignment?
We probably should.
All right. Hey, guess what? Not only is it the Summer of DBZ, it's our sequel summer 2025.
Whoa.
So we're doing TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
From 1991, directed by Michael Pressman, written by Todd W. Langan, based on characters created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, produced by Kevin K. Gray, Kim Dawson, and David Chan, starring live action, Paige Turco as April O'Neil, David Warner as Professor, Jordan Perry, Ernie Reyes Jr. as Keno, Francois Chow as the Shredder, Kevin Nash as Super Shredder,
Nice.
Kevin Nash, love me some Kevin Nash, Toshishiro Obata as Tatsu, Mark Doerr as Freddy, Michael Pressman as News Manager, Raymond Serra as Police Chief Stern from the first film, and Vanilla Ice as himself.
Nice.
Yeah, go Ninja, go Ninja, go. The voice cast was Brian Tochi as Leonardo, Robbie Rist as Michelangelo, Adam Carl as Donatello, and Carl replaced Corey Feldman as the voice of Danny for this film.
Crazy.
Laurie Faso as Raphael, Kevin Clash as Splinter, David McCarran as Shredder, Michael McConaughey, right? McConaughey?
I think
McConaughey,
so.
sure. As Tatsu, Frank Welker as Toka and Razor. Cinematography by Shelley Johnson, edited by Steve Merkovich and John Wright. Music by Jean Dupress.
John Doris.
Produced by Golden Harvest, distributed by New Line Cinema in the United States and 20th Century Fox internationally. It was released March 22nd, 1991, had a budget of $25 million. How do you make a movie like this for $25 million?
Yeah, that's crazy.
With all the puppetry and costume work, $25 million? I mean, there's not really any big name actors in this, so I guess they probably didn't
true.
have to pay many of these people very much money.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Feldman wasn't in this one, because he was going to demand like $10 million or something ridiculous.
Can't do
like
that, man.
Can't do that. Can't do that. It had like I said, a budget of $21 million. It had a box office of $78.7 million. That's $184.3 million in 2025. That's a good showing for a sequel. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, it is.
I don't care who you are. Trav, why don't you hit me with that outro?
Let's do it. We got one email from Man Bear Pig. He says, I'll be honest, I didn't do my homework. He's talking about Mortal Kombat 2. He's talking about Mortal Kombat 2. I remember watching it as a kid, and even though I knew this was terrible, or even then I knew this was terrible, so I was not about to drop the cost of a Monster drink to watch this train wreck. I have I have to buy monsters to stay sane, basically.
Man Bear Big, talk to your guy over here next time. I'll lend you the movie.
Yeah, we got copies. You want it on VHS? I got it on VHS.
You want it on
Blu-ray?
laser
I got
disc?
Blu-ray. We got it. But yeah, he's talking about the movie again. They were big on the animalities, but they completely missed the mark. I think that's obvious. We talked about that. It
Yes,
was
we did.
brutal.
Yes,
but
we
he's
did.
more talking about babalities. Why didn't they do babalities? How fucking great would it be to see them change a warrior into a baby and then just walk off with like a 400-foot home run? Boom. That would have been pretty damn funny.
I think that's a very good point, and it would be very funny and would have added some much like needed real comedy to the movie.
Yeah.
But for how bad that CG was for the rest of the movie, it would have looked so shitty.
It would have looked super shitty.
But I agree, it would have been a good move, at least to do it once.
Yeah.
Do it once.
And then, he says also DBZ sucks. You suck. But can't wait for the next one. Cheers, fellas, he says. So.
You know what they say about opinions? They're like assholes. Everyone has one.
Yeah. Sorry, Man Bear Pig.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But yeah, my only other thing is a question for you. I started this show. Have you watched Demon Slayer yet?
Negative.
Oh, my
yes. Yes, I have. Possibly. It's a single season.
God. Nope.
Okay,
Five seasons.
Nope, have not watched it.
No, holy crap. You're more into anime than I am. You definitely need to give it a
I should.
shot.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
I should.
Yeah.
I believe it might even be in my queue, honestly.
Yeah,
It might even be in my
it's
queue.
definitely gives you a little bit of DBZ vibes in the sense of like they really build something up, and then when something happens, it's epic.
It's epic.
Goosebumps, to quote you, for sure. I was like, my heart was racing, and we watched 14 episodes. They're like 22 minutes.
Nice.
If you skip the intro and the end, it's like 18-minute episodes, so you can crank them.
TV 14 or TVMA?
TVMA.
Nice.
Definitely can't have Evie walking in on that. There's a lot of blood in this one.
All right, I'm down. I'm down. It just moved to the top of my queue.
But yeah, it's super cool. I'm only watching it on Tuesdays, so it'll take me a while to get through, but you need to check it out.
I'll have to do that.
And listeners, if you have not watched Demon Slayer, watch it.
Watch Demon Slayer. Well, I'll give an anime recommendation. Delicious in Dungeon. You should watch
Delicious in Dungeon.
on Netflix as well.
All right.
It takes the idea of a roguelike video game and creates an anime about it.
Nice.
It's very good.
Pretty sweet.
It's very good.
So if you want to make it to this section of the episode, you need to email us at podcast@overduehomework.com. Make sure to check us out for updates on Facebook and Instagram at Overdue Homework Podcast. And as always, tune in to the next exciting episode of the Overdue Homework Podcast.